Well, tone-deaf narcissist LeBron James continues his never-ending quest of talking about himself, infusing himself into every conversation, and making literally everything in the world about him. And this week, as the NBA Finals are set to get underway, Bron sat down with his newest bestie and propaganda podcast co-host, JJ Redick, who, by the way, breaking news, was sniffing around a finalized deal to become LeBron's latest scapegoat, head coach. But in a stunning turn of events, the Los Angeles Lakers are preparing a massive offer to Dan Hurley, who of course just became the first coach in nearly 20 years to defend a championship at the collegiate level. Now, I know what you're thinking here. Why the hell would that guy turn down a budding dynasty in college and a shot at a historic three-peat to go insinuate himself into that clown show circus in LA? A lose-lose situation with an aging, self-obsessed egotist about to draft his own bum son onto a roster that lost in 5 games of the first round of the playoffs. Why? Well, how do I put this? Show me the money! Best guess, though, is this will be much ado about nothing, and Hurley will ultimately turn down the mega deal to remain in Storrs, Connecticut, resulting in that poop heap of an organization genuflecting to their king and giving him his BFF with zero coaching experience at any level as the new head coach. But before they team up on the court, they sat down on their Mind the Game pod for a little discussion where LeBron could breathlessly drool over Kyrie Irving in what can only be viewed as some kind of an attempt to diminish Luka Doncic's accomplishment of getting into the NBA Finals.
To have a guy like Kyrie Irving as the ultimate wild card, they might be able to win the whole thing because of that wild card.
But instead, what we should be doing is diminishing LeBron's own title in 2016. Look, not diminishing it. The Cleveland Cavaliers became the first and are still the only team ever to overcome a 3-1 series deficit in the NBA Finals round, and they did it against a team that season in the Golden State Warriors that won a regular season record 73 games. It is undeniably LeBron's best and realistically only good ring. But many in the mass media, and of course LeBron himself, have gone way too far in calling it the best ring ever and insinuating, check that, outright declaring that it in fact made him the greatest player of all time.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
And their playoff run in the putrid Eastern Conference consisted of beating the Detroit Pistons, whose leading scorer that season was Reggie Jackson, then the Atlanta Hawks, who were led by Paul Millsap and Jeff Teague, before beating the Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan-led Raptors in the conference finals, who, by the way, took the Cavs 6 games. And excusing the Draymond Green flagrant foul, where he was suspended for Game 5 in the finals for grabbing a handful of LeBron's man region, Andrew Bogut getting hurt and missing 2 games of the series, and the obvious outright gag job perpetrated by injured Steph Curry. Yeah, removing all of that and just looking at the support LeBron had on his way to that title is and always has been extremely underrated. LeBron James averaged 26 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists for that entire playoff run, while Kyrie Irving averaged 25 points per game, 4.5 assists, and 3 rebounds. And perennial all-star at the time and likely Hall of Famer Kevin Love was averaging 15 points and 9 rebounds as LeBron's third option. For comparison, Kyrie in this current playoff run is averaging 22.8 points per game, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. This while Luka Doncic is leading the NBA postseason in points, rebounds, assists, and steals, dropping per game averages of 29 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 9 assists. Oh yeah, and his third scoring option is PJ Washington. And look, Doncic wasn't beating teams led by Paul Millsap and Reggie Jackson. He beat 3 50-plus win teams to get here. More on that in a minute. Also, while LeBron is lavishly praising Kyrie Irving,
listen, I will call Kyrie the wizard. There was nothing on the basketball floor that Kyrie couldn't do.
I think it's probably pretty important to bear in mind just who the hell Kyrie's mentor was.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone in here has ever lost a mentor. I miss him every single day, just alongside the rest of the world and all the Kobe supporters around the world. Every day he walks with me in spirit, and I feel his presence every day.
Who Kyrie absolutely emulated, and undeniably he himself has above LeBron all time. Yeah, that would be the one and only Kobe Bean Bryant.
He's the most gifted player the NBA has ever seen.
So LeBron, don't get it twisted. Kyrie isn't the most gifted player the NBA has ever seen. That would be Kai's big brother. Also, hilariously enough, in LeBron's latest verbal diarrhea session on his podcast, where he was waxing poetic over Kyrie.
I have so many words to praise Kyrie that I end up with absolutely none.
He also managed inadvertently to bash his own running mate, Anthony Davis.
I'm so mad at the same time that I am not his running mate anymore.
Davis, who was second-team All-NBA this season and first-team All-NBA defense, the only player in the league to make both teams. Speaking of him, by the way, AD averaged 28 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1.5 blocks on 63.5% shooting from the field in the playoff series against Denver. Also, LeBron could ride that gentleman's broom right out of the first round in 5 games. Luka, meanwhile, just beat the Minnesota team in 5 games that beat that Denver team. In fact, Dallas just became the 5th team in NBA history that will play 4 50-plus win opponents in the course of one NBA postseason, joining the 95 Rockets, the 2001 Lakers, the 2008 Lakers, and the 2010 Lakers. Yeah, speaking of Kobe, he was on 3 of those 5 teams. And now, Kyrie, the Kobe disciple, will be seeking to win his 2nd title, one every bit as challenging, if not more so, than his first in 2016. And Game 1 will get underway finally at long last tonight, so it should be interesting to see just how LeBron can manage to make us all look at him over the next 10 days. I suppose hiring his next scapegoat right in the middle of this series will be a great step in the right direction.